All right. Hey, I hope everyone is doing well tonight. It's Friday night, and I wanted to talk about my favorite issue, Barack Obama's birth certificate, and kind of hadn't done a video on that in a while, so I just wanted to cover a lot of the stuff that seems to have been forgotten, but is still true. But before I get into that, I wanted to share a thought that someone shared at the Waco anniversary when I was down there, and I just thought I would share it with you guys because it kind of stuck in my mind. But if you look at the progression of this satanic evil spirit that, and you see what it's doing over time, and it takes years, right? It's gradualism, it's the frog in the pot. We all know that story. But they took out an American family, right? Ruby Ridge. And nobody really even cared. Nobody seemed to, get excited about the fact that the government, shot a woman holding a baby. Lon Huriuchi, or whatever, however the heck you pronounce his name. They moved on from that family and they took out an American church. I even heard one jackass on YouTube say that they got what they deserved. And they demonized these people in Waco, and they're the most, the best I can tell being down there, they're good Texas people, and they may be a little bit more religious than most people in the United States, but they're good, wholesome people. They're not a cult. They don't hold David Koresh up as some second coming of Christ or anything like the media portrayed them. And so this evil satanic spirit moved from a family at Ruby Ridge. They took out an entire church at Waco. Nobody even cared. Women and children died, were murdered by the government in the most horrific way you can imagine. Nobody even really cared. People have been brainwashed to believe, well, they got what they deserve. Those Texas redneck hillbillies, those religious fanatics, those, they got what they deserved. You people disgust me. Some of the videos that I've seen, I've blocked many of you, but because you side with Satan so much in your videos, I just block you and I don't watch you anymore. But having said that, they moved from the family to the church to Oklahoma City, where they took out an entire building. And you can't tell me that the official story about Oklahoma City is proper. And then they moved from Oklahoma City to 9/11. They took out an entire section of a city. And because they have done this, now they're able to march into any part of the world and just kill people, whoever the heck they want to kill, and under the guise of, we're fighting in the name of terror. And nobody has demanded the truth. We've let them get away with this. And for all you stupid idiots out there who get, your rocks off by watching Muslims die. First of all, if you've watched any of my previous video, I don't support Muhammad. Go research Aisha. Go research how old she was when Muhammad married her. I don't like the Islamic religion. I'm no defender of Islam. But there are so many of you that just love it when Muslims get killed. I mean, you just don't even care. You think it's the greatest thing in the world. I even heard one guy make a video, and I had to stop watching him, say, oh, they're not killing American citizens, or, it doesn't matter. They're just killing Muslims. We've killed over 1 million Muslims, okay, in Iraq and Afghanistan. On some crazy situation that happened on 9/11, which we don't even know the full truth about, and that's the justification for killing 1 million Muslims. Now, I'm no defender of Islam. I'm not going to sit here and defend Muhammad. I can't stand him. I can't stand the Islam religion. But I'm telling you, there's going to be some retribution to pay for killing 1 million Muslims. And I'm telling you, when I see any human being get mowed down, right, and there's going to come a time in our own country when our own government is attacking us. And if you're hanging around anybody with an RPG, or if you're hanging around anybody that's outspoken and trying to fight back, and you get killed, there's going to be nobody to stand up for you. I'm telling you, killing 1 million Muslims is absolute wrong. It's just absolute wrong. And if I don't say it, I won't be truthful to what I believe inside. I don't like it to see anybody die, even if they're not somebody that shares my religion. And it's absolutely wrong. And there will be retribution to pay. I mean, I'm distancing myself from this government. I'm not going to have that blood on my hands. And I'm saying that everything they've done in this whole chain of events and the progression of things is getting worse and worse. And I'm going to say it's wrong. And it's just because Muslims are dying, and you people that think it's okay to kill Muslims, man, I don't want to be around you when that lightning bolt comes down from the sky, man. That's between you and God. I'm not going to have any part of it. Anyway, let me get back to I want to cover some facts about the Obama birth certificate, because that was really the purpose of this video, and I rambled on about, the whole progression of events the way I see it. But let's talk about Obama birth certificate, and I'll go through this really quickly because I don't have that much time left. Did you know let's remember just all the different facts, right? And I wrote down some of the things. I know I forgot a lot of different things too, but these are just the things I wrote down. Do you know his white grandmother died 2 days before the election? You don't think that's a little bit suspicious? Oh, come on now. She had cancer. Don't pick on her because she had cancer. My wife had cancer too. I'm telling you, anybody who has cancer, up until the very last moment, and I don't know her specific situation, but you can talk. You can have a conversation. And you might say, well, she didn't want to talk to the press. The press could be hard on her. His white grandmother, Madeline Dunham, was the vice president of a bank, okay? She was a very well-educated, well-spoken woman. It isn't like she was a shy grandmother just making cookies and she didn't want to talk to the press. They could have invited any nice press person to speak to her. You got to be kidding me. She dies 2 days before the election. She knew where Obama was born, and it's way too suspicious for me that she died 2 days before the election. And she never once held an interview with the press. Come on now, she was the vice president of a bank. She ain't going to get on TV and say, my grandson, I caught him stealing cookies, but he returned them. He's a good little boy, and tell a good little story about her grandson. Ain't no freaking way. There was a reason why she didn't talk to the press, and there was a reason why she died 2 days before the election. Do you know that his black grandmother, Sarah, has been reported to say in Swahili that she was there at the time of his birth in Mombasa, Kenya? Do you know that James David Manning invited Sarah Obama, which is his black grandmother, to Christmas dinner, but the King Abdullah from Saudi Arabia went and picked her up and all her family members and took her to Hajj, which is in Mecca, even though she's reported to be a Christian? What's she doing going to Mecca if she's a Christian? The Kenya ambassador has admitted on a radio program that he was born in Kenya. Obama's mother is a piece of white trash. That's just absolute, a fact. Go look up, Google Obama mother naked picture. She's like posing with her tail up on a chair, naked. And Snopes, if you go to Snopes.com and try to disprove it, it says unconfirmed, because Snopes is the most liberal, left-leaning thing I've ever seen. Of course, if you look at the face, there's a chance it may not be her, but I'm telling you, it's probably her. She can pose naked all she wants to. I don't really care, but she was a piece of white trash. John Klein, which is Lou Dobbs' boss. Lou Dobbs started to talk about the birth certificate on CNN. John Klein said it was lost in a fire and told Lou Dobbs to shut up. How could it be lost in a fire if Miss Fukino with the Hawaiian Health Department said that she has seen it, right? If she has seen it, why don't they just release it? Obama spent over $2 million now trying to hide it. Why would anybody spend $2 million trying to hide a birth certificate that's real? Do you know that in 1961 there's two twins that were born at a hospital in Hawaii and they released their birth certificate? So we know that there are birth certificates available from that year. Do you know that it has the attending physician and the attending nurse? That's really the information that we want, so we can go see if this attending physician really worked at the hospital to see if he's still alive or if he has family members still alive. Let's see who the attending nurse are. But Miss Fukino said she's seen it, but she ain't going to release it to anybody. Do you know that Hawaii is talking about passing a law that says they can ignore repeated requests for the birth certificate? Are you kidding me? What the hell is going on? Passing a law says you can ignore that? That's for when the pressure gets bigger on later on down the road and a governor asks for it, they'll ignore that. Do you know that Nancy Pelosi changed the wording to the DNC candidate certification? It used to say the candidates are legally qualified, but Nancy Pelosi removed that wording from the DNC certification. She knows that he's not legally qualified. Do you know there's over 400 lawsuits that have been put forth to see his real birth certificate, and they've all been dismissed because they say citizens of the United States do not have proper standing? That's done under that freaking Holder who called every American coward. You got to be kidding me. Do you know there's over 500,000 people in the United States that have signed a petition that would like to see his birth certificate? Do you know there's numerous military personnel that have refused deployment orders because they want to see his birth certificate to make sure he's a valid commander-in-chief? Stefan Cook said, I'm not going to be deployed until I show his birth certificate. And the military rescinded his deployment orders. Are you kidding me? They just said, well, you don't have to go. If you're going to demand to see his birth certificate, you don't have to go. Do you know that Lieutenant Colonel Terrence Lakin is on the verge of being court-martialed because he won't go? We have some freaking foreigner, communist, Muslim in the White House and nobody gives a damn. I hope this trial from James David Manning wakes a lot of people up. I'm sick and tired of lies being put forth and the media not talking about it because they're controlled by corporate interests.